Spurs up, Carolina fans. This is Phil Harris once again here at the Ruckin Roosters Show. I am joined with three of the Golden Brothers here with us this evening. We've got John, Dan, and Kevin. How the heck are all three of you?
Amazing.
Good. Doing good. Living life.
Excellent. Good to see you guys all here. I'm glad Kevin got the memo that we're doing a Carolina podcast here, wearing the merch, wearing the gear.
They didn't get the memo, apparently.
Yeah. He was actually the only one that was able to immediately figure out how to jump on here, even though all of these guys, except for him, have done this before. So we're going to hold that against them, the older brothers. John, you're right next to me here. You're the oldest brother. Yes. Let me start with you. You're a recent graduate from Carolina. What are you doing professionally now?
I graduated in May of 2022, and now I am working as a management consultant in Manhattan, in New York City. Wow. So, yeah, I just started that job about 2 or 3 months ago, so still a little bit new. I'm in the office right now behind me. But
right on. Appreciate you being on here.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's going good so far, and I love it. So good, very happy.
Is this something that your major was concentrated in, or what was your major at Carolina?
Yeah, so I majored in marketing and business administration. Nice. Initially graduated and then went into a sales role. Mm-hmm. Did that for about a year, and then enjoyed it, learned a lot, had a lot of fun doing it, and then kind of just wanted to make a little bit of a professional switch. So made the switch, and here we are in consulting.
Good for you. That's fantastic. In the Big Apple as well. We're going to talk about your rugby days. Now that you've graduated from Carolina, you're still tossing that ball around. Talk about where you're playing at nowadays.
Yeah. So after I graduated, knew I wanted to continue, keep playing and get around with the boys. So joined New York Athletic Club. It's been great. The guys on the team are amazing. Same as it's a similar vibe as South Carolina. All the guys are. They're in it for the right reasons. Everyone wants to play. Everyone wants to have fun. But we also want to win. So we've been lucky enough to be successful in the last year or two. Just finished playoffs this last weekend, actually. So, it's going great. And, I've met a lot of very, very talented rugby players, professionals from all over the world, Ireland, England, New Zealand, you name it. So it's been a ton of fun, and I've learned a lot. So I'm happy to keep doing it.
That's awesome. That's one of the best clubs there in New York. Of course, Old Blue also a very, very good club there in New York. Both of those clubs are kind of feeder clubs to the New York, whatever they're calling themselves nowadays, the professional club there in the New York area. So that's really good. I mean, you got eyes on you for sure if you're trying to make that leap into the next level there, which would be MLR. I know that you've been a part of their development team in the past. You want to talk about that for a second?
So just this last summer, I got the chance to play for Coach Mike Petrie. He's a part of their the Foundry, New York Foundry, basically their U23 team. So it was, again, a ton of fun. That competition was crazy, but being coached by pro level coaches is
legend.
Is great. And he played for New York, and played for USA. He's a big guy here. So to be able to be coached by him and just play with. Understand kind of what goes on in that regime is great. It was a great opportunity. Quick 3 months, but loved every second of it. So hopefully we'll, I'm turning 24, so I won't be able to do that again. But hopefully get somewhere close to it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you're right there with Nyack. I mean, there's eyes on you guys. I know that the GM of the New York team there is always looking at Nyack and Old Blue for talent. So, fingers crossed on that. I wanted to ask you about with you, Ruckin, really quickly, because you are a young alum. Overall thoughts on the event as a young Carolina graduate?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, just first thing is, getting enough people. I think the first thing, or the thing that I look forward to as a young alumni, is that game. the alumni weekend game. For me this year, it's always good as a player to play against the guys who are older than you. So, when I was a player playing against those guys, but being a young alumni, especially having two brothers in the school now, being able to line up on the other side of the ball as these two guys on the screen with me, was something that was super fun. I was in the middle of playoffs at the time, and my team didn't really want me taking the one weekend we had off to go play a full 80 again. But it was something that I couldn't really turn down. So, being able to play against those guys, and I played with Daniel for 3 or 4, 5 years now, and then to play against Kevin, and see what see the rugby player he's turned into was great.
That's awesome.
And after the game, just getting everybody together and talking about the future, where the team's at right now. I know the captains Daniel and Grant, Coach Roberts, and everyone else on that kind of team has done a great job in terms of forward thinking of what they're focused on. I know they mentioned a field and all sorts of things. A ton of guys are on scholarship now, so it's good to get those alumni and everyone else that's at that weekend kind of understanding where the club is focused, where they're headed, get everybody kind of on the same page. But I think it's a great weekend, and I'll definitely be there for the foreseeable future.
That's awesome. So glad to hear that for sure. I'm glad you had a good time. You and I talked quite a bit at that event. I shook your hand and looked you in the eyes and said, I'm playing next year in the alumni game. So everybody up there, hold me to it. If I'm on the sidelines, drag me into the game. I don't care what excuse I come up with. I'm playing. So there you go. Dan,
I'll hold you to it.
Good. Dan, I wanted to jump over to you, the middle child. You're a graduate player, the captain of the team. Let's talk about the 15 season that just recently wrapped up. Your just overall thoughts about the season itself.
It was a little disappointing. Thought we were a better team than Kentucky and Tennessee, and things didn't fall together quite like we wanted. But, it's always good to get out there. We had a lot of good freshmen, so a lot of good sophomores. So these guys are going to be in really good shape moving forward.
Absolutely.
We still beat a few good teams there. We beat Clemson. We had a good run at it. Georgia's a good team. So we still had some good moments, but couldn't piece it together at the end. But, that's okay. We're still a young team, still got a lot of good players, and they're going to be good for years to come. So just said I'm going to miss it.
100%. I know that you're going to miss it for sure. But we're taking steps in the right direction overall. Beating Clemson 2 years in a row it's such a historic thing that doesn't happen every now and then. It's something that's pretty rare, and to beat them there at their place is a really, really big deal. So super excited about that. There's definitely things to look forward to for the underclassmen for sure. You played against your older brother in the alumni game. What was that experience like? I know you guys normally play together, but this was a opposition type of thing going on here. What was that like?
Yeah, I think that was like the first time I've played against John besides like a guard and black scrimmage.
Yeah.
It was good. I could tell he was trying to run the ball, not towards me. I think he was a little scared of me. So that's really what I noticed the most, I'd say.
I have a feeling that that's not the case, but John, you want to rebuttal there?
I don't know. I'm pretty aware of my strengths and definitely aware of my weaknesses, and Daniel knows my weaknesses better than anybody. Daniel and Kevin know those weaknesses better than anybody. So I try to steer clear of those boys. And
wow,
at the very best, even if I think I can beat them, just the chance that they might beat me is something that I won't really hear the end of for a very long time. So I try to stay out of their lanes.
Fair enough. Dan, any trash talk that took place prior to the game between Kevin, Dan, or John?
No, not much. We tried to keep it civil, and I know I'm going to be on their team next year. So
right, yeah, you got to keep that in mind. Yeah, you're going to be joining the other team.
Yeah, I can't have those guys not like me, and I'm joining them the next year. So
it's true. Yeah, you don't want to be a pariah out there for sure.
Exactly.
Kevin, I wanted to jump to you. You're the baby of the group, a freshman player for the team. What was your rugby experience prior to Carolina?
I really had no rugby experience. It was just from these two guys right here. I went to my public school. They went to their private school. We didn't have rugby. So over the summer, Dan and John were like, yo, they knew I committed to South Carolina. They're like, yo, you have to play rugby. Got to come out to the field with us. So basically every other day we went out to the field with Dan. John came out a lot of times working from his job too. They coached me up, me and my cousin Michael. And it was just a great experience because obviously Dan and John are super, super great players. And it was just I really saw their leadership without even being on the team, just from those sharing the field with them for a little bit, learning how to pass, all the basics. And I think it really helped me in like training camp and throughout the season. I think it still does. So I really appreciated that. That was really all the experience I had, but I couldn't be more thankful for those summer sessions.
It's pretty incredible that you guys took it upon yourselves to be like, he didn't play, but we're going to make him play at Carolina. So we got to get this kid ready. He's going to have the golden last name. So, you know, we have to make sure he's not going to suck at this, right? Was that the mindset, Dan and John?
Yeah, basically.
I think so. I'll give Kevin the credit on committing to South Carolina, knowing that he wanted to play rugby. You know, taking that leap on and saying that he wanted to, you know, try a new thing that he hasn't done before, because he saw how much me and Daniel liked it. And then I'll give the credit in terms of the teaching and the coaching fully to Daniel. So once Kevin kind of told me and Daniel that he wanted to, or Daniel and I, that he wanted to commit to rugby, Daniel kind of took him under his wing and made, you know, I mean, he can talk about it more, but made practice plans, scheduled it out for them, and they really went.
I don't know if Michael with you, Kevin.
Yeah, Michael's actually right here.
So, tell Michael everybody here. That's our cousin. So that's another member of the family.
Insane.
And I knew them two were both coming to school together, going to be roommates. And I talked Michael into playing, and Kevin wanted to play. And I was like, you know what, guys, I'm throwing together. I mean, I was working at like a normal summer job, like working at a park, not doing much. So I threw together a boot camp, and a couple times a week, like throughout the whole summer, I would have them work on passing. Just like basics of the sport, and then we progressed, and they got into rucking and defense. And I mean, they showed up to training camp, and everyone was like, "Is this their first practice?" I was like, "Yeah, ever." And they were like, "Are you sure?" I was like, "This is the first time they've ever played." So it worked. It paid off. They're both doing really well. They both started the majority of the season on the B side. So
incredible.
We have 3 sides now. So I mean, they made a huge steps up in their game. So congrats to them.
Absolutely. Congrats. 100%. Those stories right there are the reason why I do this show. Like, that is so cool. I love that so much, man.
And also, sorry, Phil, to cut you off. We also have another cousin, Ryan McQuaid, which he took the semester off from medical leave, but he's going to be back next semester. He was also at the boot camp. So Ryan, if you're watching this, we didn't forget about you. Don't worry. But next semester he'll be back.
You guys are just coming out of the woodwork, man. Is there any other Goldens that are going to be, you know, signing up next year? What's the deal?
Just the 5. Just the 5.
We're all tapped out.
Just
That's all we
5. Got. Okay, great. Hilarious.
If you include the parents, that can give us the 7s team. So we'll take what we can get.
Love that. What's been your impressions of Carolina rugby, Kevin?
Oh, I mean, it completely exceeded my expectations. Dan and John both told me, really great group of guys, and you'll feel like very welcome. And I can tell immediately from the first training camp practice that like these guys were my people, and I really just felt connected with them immediately. And it couldn't be more true now. I mean, I got super close to all the freshmen. I mean, all the sophomores, even the upperclassmen, they're just really there for you, and they really care about you. And you can like feel the family than any other team I've ever been on. I really felt it. So it's a blessing. I mean, all the socials are great. The practices are amazing. Just nothing wrong to say about it.
Love to hear that. Yeah, that's music to my ears, man. I'm really glad that the freshman experience for Carolina rugby is very good. Like, you want to have those, you know, you want to bond with the people within your own class, but to have those upperclassmen reach out and make you feel welcome, that's really, really encouraging to hear for sure. What's been your overall adjustment from high school to college? You said you went to a public school there. What's been that transition like?
It was kind of funny, actually. I mean, I graduated with like 160 kids from my high school. So I went to a really small school, and obviously, you know, South Carolina has like 30,000 kids. It's just really, really big. So I was kind of looking for that little small group that I can rely on, and rugby was a perfect, replacement for that. So, I mean, the transition was a little weird. I mean, I don't like walk around and like notice everyone. I don't like recognize everyone, but I mean, I'm still making a bunch of friends. I'm still having a great time, and I'm super glad I'm in like a big, fun school, like in the SEC. I mean, it's been nothing but great. Yeah, having a super good time.
Absolutely. Glad to hear that for sure. I wanted to ask, have you decided on a major yet? What's your studies looking like?
I'm doing civil engineering right now, and I'm probably going to minor in like environmental engineering, something like that.
Good for you. Yeah. Excellent, man. One of the smart ones here.
Smarter than these two.
Hilarious.
John to leave because of that comment, Kevin.
Yeah, let me see here. There we go. Let me sort it back out there. There we go. We got the order.
My
no worries.
my computer died, so I had to switch to my phone.
No worries, pal. Let's see here. I wanted to ask just a couple more questions for you guys. John, we were talking about this at With You Weekend. I know your parents are very proud of all three of you. It was your dad's idea to do this episode, actually, and I think it turned out very, very well. Last question, and anybody can answer this. If there was a potential recruit out there watching this, or maybe three rugby brothers out there watching this, what would you say to them about coming to Carolina and playing rugby as a Gamecock?
I mean, I can just say that one of the coolest moments I've ever had in not only sports, just like in my life, was me and John. We went to nationals together, and there's this picture of John passing me the ball and me scoring, and then I stand up and I hug John, and John framed it for me for like Christmas once, and it's on my wall at home. And it's just a picture of like that, and just being able to like go to nationals, and me and John, like, you know, we got like all ACC together. We, you know, got some awards together. We got to take pictures all the time. And it's just like, just to have that like thing of like being with your brother and playing at a really high level, and like being, you know, starters on the team and like having like an impact in the game just with your brother. It's like a really cool thing that I don't think many people get to experience that. And that's what, I mean, if you are a kid out there who wants to play with your brother, I mean, this place was awesome. I mean, I loved it with John. I love it with Kevin now. I love it with my cousins who are here. So it's a great family experience just with your friends. And it's also even better, more amplified with your actual family. So.
Well said. John, we cannot hear you. Kevin, you got anything for us? Anything that you would like to say?
I mean, yeah, just to bounce off what Dan said. I mean, I came in a little insecure because I never played rugby, and I was just, you know, John and Dan are super good, and I was kind of worried. I was like, I'm not the best player. I just started, and I was really kind of worried about that. But I mean, as I said before, as a family feeling, I couldn't see a better place to like commit to than this place to play some rugby, especially with your brother. Like, you get a really tight knit family with everyone, not only your family that you come into, it's just the family you grow onto like once you come here. And it was just amazing when I came here. If I was a recruit, if I was my senior year, wouldn't change it for the world. I would come back every single time.
Absolutely. One of the best decisions I ever made is coming to Carolina and playing rugby. John, are you there with us? Nope.
I will
go ahead.
I will add, I mean, some people would like think coming, like you would fight with your brother all the time, or like, you know, like it would be annoying to have your older brother around a lot, but me and John actually lived together. So like, I wouldn't say like, I don't think it's like, there's really a negative, because me and John came to school. Obviously we were close, we're brothers, but like we came to school, got even closer, ended up living together. And then the same things happening with me and Kevin now. Obviously we can't live together, but yeah, it's just awesome. So I think it grows your bond with a bunch of friends, and then it just amplifies your bond with people you already know. So that's why I love it here.
Great way to put it. John, come on. Oh, you're killing me, kid. You know what? We're not going to make that the last question. We're going to let John try to figure this out. I do have a couple more here that I kind of forgot about, so we'll just jump to these. I know we've had pairs of brothers play for Carolina, but I'm not sure about three. And then the cousins adding on to it. You guys definitely have the title of, like, you know, the biggest family that's ever played for Carolina. Are there any more? So I've already asked that one. So the next one is for John. So that's not going to happen. Is the goal for you guys to stay active so all three of you can play in the alumni game together? I think I know John's having some knee issues that he's dealing with playing and stuff like that.
He has a little knee thing, but I think he'll be back, I think. So yeah, I mean, the goal is definitely that we've obviously all played, like I've played with John and I've played with Kevin, but we've never all three of us played together, but outside of like a pickup game. So I think a game, and maybe that's in alumni weekend, and maybe that's in you know, down the line more. But I think all of us playing together would be cool. I think my parents would really like the picture of it. So I think
100%. Yeah. John, what you got?
Nothing, it looks like.
All right. Let me see here. Is there anything else in terms of questions that I have not asked you guys here? Oh yeah. So Dan, you might know this one a little bit better. John was telling me at With You Weekend that your dad played a little bit back in the day. Tell us about that.
Yeah, my dad played at Hofstra University, and it's on Long Island, which is why he ended up moving there, and he met my mom. but he played fly half and wing, and I think maybe fullback mainly.
Wow.
Mainly fly half, though. I think he played the longest, and he played for like 2 years, and in his third year, I think, he messed up his shoulder and he couldn't play anymore, and he still can't really like throw a football, even he hurt his shoulder so bad. But he said, like, he was like, guys, in those 2 years, it was the most fun I've ever had, and he was like, if you ever get a chance to play, and that's why me and John picked it up at our St. Anthony's where we went to high school.
So he's really the origin story of you guys getting into rugby. So that's really, really cool. I love that story, man. And your dad's fantastic. So is your mom. They're great people. Really enjoy talking to them with you weekend. It's really cool that they're able to come down and see you guys at these events and stuff like that. So
yeah.
Cannot hear John. So since, I mean,
you guys hear me now?
There we go.
There we go.
Hey.
All right.
Nice.
All right. That
There
was
he is.
terrible. Jesus.
Nice.
I didn't hear the second question, but I do want to say one thing about the first question. What I would say to somebody joining. Sorry, that was terrible. My phone died and then my computer died. It's a whole thing.
Everything's dying.
So, I think for me, I'd been asked this a lot by you. I think the first time I did this podcast was, what's something you would tell somebody joining? And that's something as a sophomore or junior, when, there wasn't a lot of kids on the team, I had to tell everybody because we needed to get players. We needed to bring in people. And I think, actions speak louder than words. And I think the biggest proof that I can show you that proves that I want people to come to the school is, I basically pushed my 2 closest friends, my 2 brothers who are on the screen with me, pushed them to come here. First it was Daniel, then it was Kevin. My 2 cousins are also at the school. So we have a very close-knit family, and we all, listen to what each other say. And I think everyone heard me speak great things about the rugby team, about the program, but also just about the school in general. And, I didn't force anybody to make a decision or tell them anybody needed to do something. But I think when you hear somebody speak about something so highly, whether it's the school, the program, the rugby team, the friends on the rugby team, whatever it is, you can't hear that, and you can't hear it over and over again and not believe it. So, if you're a kid out there, I basically, I say good enough things about it to keep my brothers and my cousins here. And, if there was more brothers, I could assure you they'd also be coming. There isn't, but, to anybody else that's joining, it's the proof's in the pudding. We're all here for a reason. We love it. Where I loved it, they love it now. So I don't think you can make a mistake.
I agree with that, and I think that's the best way to send us out of this video and exit this. So I've got 2 words for everybody out there, and you guys know what it is. In 3, 2, 1, Spurs up,
Spurs
baby.
up.
Woo!
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Phil.
Appreciate you. Bye.